Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the another episode of HR Insights. I'm your host Mirab and today we are diving into a that is how to handle difficult employees without creating conflict. And I'm joining in with someone I have really been looking forward, HR expert and leader known for her strategic approach to people management. Thank you so much, Aiman. Welcome to the show.
No worries. Thank you so much for inviting me, Mira.
Okay, Eamon, firstly, tell me
Yeah,
a bit about yourself and about the company.
sure enough. So, well, Meetup, as of now, where I'm working is actually a software IT tech house, and we are actually mostly involved in serving to the international clients.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have our web services, we do have our production services. So if any of the
Mm-hmm.
client would be needing that, so definitely like we can actually promote them to the platforms and we can actually give them the services on a very reasonable prices actually. And if I talk about myself, so like in this industry, it's almost like 2 years now that I've been like working. And like throughout my whole journey, I have learned a lot, like from scratch till now. So yeah, I'm very much like excited like to share out my experiences and what sort of like conflicts and difficulties we actually have to go through on our daily basis. So yeah, we can start with that. Sure.
Perfect. So let's jump right in. Eamon, a lot of managers says issues suddenly appear, but the truth is the early signs are usually there. Even what are the early indicators that an employee might be becoming difficult, and how can HR act quickly?
Hmm. Sure enough. So, Emily, that's a very good question, though, because throughout my whole journey, I have seen that there are like candidates who are very potential enough, like they are very hardworking, they are giving their 100%. But
Hmm.
sometimes it happens when an individual would be like getting more and more leniencies and more compensations, which I believe that it's something that once you start working in a corporate sector, so you have to actually be very, I would say, sophisticated with your work and all those things.
Hmm.
But yes, when that individual would be actually having those compensations and he or she started believing that, okay, I'm
Hmm.
irreplaceable or I am actually will be staying in this company for a longer time period, then that individual would be like getting difficult to handle. Because I
Yeah.
have seen, yeah, so I have seen like there are like a lot of people, even the managers by themselves, they are actually the one who are giving them, they are boosting their energy, they're like actually feeding their ego that okay, yeah, you can like just go and take a half day, no worries, it's fine, just because they are actually working good. And that's fine. I mean, like, obviously, if someone is working good, yeah, we can give them compensations. But on the other hand, the other people who just have joined the company or who just have like showing up their good positive side, now they are actually making that individual as an example for themselves. Okay, okay, if he can get those compensations, so definitely we can as well. So sometimes it happens that the managers are also like playing a part in that role as well. Now once they, I mean, like, the things are getting out of their hands, so then they come towards the HR. Okay, okay, now it's your call, you have to handle that like that individual. And even if you want to like let that person go from the company, so it's totally on you. Now we are the bad cop and the manager is a good cop, because now we would be like taking a strict action towards that person, and we would be actually seeing like what's the loophole, what is the lacking. We would try to handle first verbally, but again, if that candidate or if that employee is not ready to understand that we have to maintain a decorum within the office, so then something it's very
Hmm.
I believe concerned, and we have to then obviously play our bad cop part in as a HR. So then we have to actually make the strict rules towards that person. So yeah, I believe the early signs is that once we see that person is actually crossing their boundaries, or he is actually getting very, very, very comfortable with the job role. So that's a good thing, because getting comfortable will give us the 100% of the result. But again, getting more and more comfortable in that place and thinking about
Hmm.
कि we are irreplaceable, it's something that I believe ke, which is very
Hmm.
weird, because even myself, I never have considered myself कि okay, this company would be needing me और मैं
Hmm.
irreplaceable हूँ और कोई मुझे निकाल नहीं सकता. फिर मैं चाहे
Exactly.
फिर मैं चाहे जितनी भी ऑफ्स लूँ, लीव्स लूँ, breaks लूँ, and I'm not really sincere with my work. So that's something I believe we have to take care this thing from the very first day one, ताकि it will not going to affect the work as well, plus the working culture environment as well.
Bilkul. Perfect. That makes sense. Now, communication can make or break these situations. How can managers address issues clearly without making the employee defensive?
All right, that's really a nice question as well, because I have seen on a daily basis that managers are actually not knowing what sort of things and what sort of problems it's going on under them, because after managers they are team leaders. They are the actually one who are actually seeing the things.
Hmm.
All right, what sort of problems like the people who just have joined their team are going through. But now once the managers going actually get to know about those things, so it's something we actually need them to communicate us on a very clear note, because sometimes it happens that managers do sugarcoat things. I'm not like totally blaming them as well. It's
Yeah,
sometimes the
exactly.
employee, yeah, it's sometimes the employee is actually the person who just make the things very twisted and present them in a way कि जहाँ पे managers भी just like get confused कि okay, then what should we have to do next. So it's something that I believe कि a crystal clear communication is very necessary, like between each and every person within the company. Because if you will gonna fabricate anything, if you're gonna lie about anything, it will just like make things worse and difficult for both of the part, like for the employee as well, for the managers as well, and for the HR as well. Because whatever the concern is or whatever the problem is, whoever
Hmm.
is facing, if they are not going to like address them like on a daily basis, so how we'll gonna get to know about this. एक problem है जो कि पिछले एक हफ्ते से चल रही है, but if someone is not addressing us ये सोच के कि people will
Hmm.
going to understand that thing, so
Hmm.
that's not possible. Because I know that we are here to help them, like HR is a resource to help each and everything, but again,
Yeah.
like at a very same time we are handling actually 5 to 10 people like on a daily basis. There are queries, there are very much questions, there are a lot of emails
Hmm.
that has filled in a day. So obviously we have to look each and everything, we have to give the proper time to each and every person out there, so no one feel like are left behind ke we are not catering them. So it's something ke on the daily basis there should be a way that even if it's a small meeting of 10 to 15 minutes, that's fine, we can do that, and then we can actually address the issues of each and every individual who is working. So I mean, like, without getting defensive, I believe things can easily get resolved if someone is ready to talk and someone is ready to like resolve them without getting their ego between that
Hmm.
anything. It
Hmm.
goes like for both of the parties, for the HR as well, for the managers as well.
Yeah,
So
that's good. Okay, Iman, emotional intelligence gets talked a lot about these days. How does it help in managing difficult employees?
emotional intelligence, fair enough. It's something that I believe being in HR, it's not about that you are being employed in a company and you are actually just like working your nine to
Hmm.
five job and then coming back to home. It's
Yeah.
more about like you being a human towards that another person as well. Because once you will start acting as like
Hmm.
I would say someone who understand others' problems, so you will get to know okay,
Hmm.
that is something कि okay with where what is lacking, because on a daily basis we are actually hearing that okay घर में कोई बीमार है, or we have like got our thing is snatched क्योंकि obviously like there are like a lot situation in our country that which is very critical. So I mean this is something like an emotional intelligence, like once you know like how to handle the things very perfectly, because as in nature it's not something कि आपको and फिर
Um,
आप you will start like giving the leniencies towards that person. But again, it's something that once you know कि how to handle a situation very like professionally plus like humanly as well. So I believe it's something that you can actually handle anything with their employee, because employee is something who is looking after for someone about that situation कि now how you have to actually I would say handle them with professionally plus like the emotionally as well, because that individual employee is looking for someone who can understand their problems rather than ke giving them the solutions के ठीक है अगर ऐसा हो गया तो कोई मसला नहीं है, you can just like come,
exactly.
because we are the front face, we are HR are like someone who can like an employee can rely on actually. So that's something I believe it's very
Welcome.
necessary to having that emotional intelligence within yourself. So I believe it's very, I believe that we are lacking on that thing as well, because I have seen a lot of
Hmm.
HRs, they are just like doing their work, they are not actually expanding their knowledge, like as far my knowledge, because that's something it will going to get stuck with that employee कि मैं शेयर करने गया था कुछ, but they were unable to help me because they did not understand my situation at that time. So I always try to listen to them, because that employee would be needing like more of a listener rather than just like a person who just like give advices without listening their problems. तो अगर आपको
Welcome.
retain करना है किसी को and you believe कि you have to retain that person, you have to retain
Hmm.
that good, then you should be having that power, that emotional intelligence within you कि जहाँ पे you can easily like convince that person कि okay like this is our problem, because obviously that HR is having a word like from both of the parties, employee की side से भी और company की side से भी. We can't be like being one sided, we have to be neutral so in order to like make the things work. So that's the thing. So I believe we have to like work on those things, like the HRs out there. So I believe that's something I would like to give an advice to everyone. You just like be humble and just try to listen and understand like what sort of situations they are going through. And I believe कि अगर कोई ऐसी चीज है जहाँ पे लगता है कि हाँ they are like making unnecessary demands, then again उस पे भी instead of getting defensive or like instead of like making their problems unheard. So that's something we are not here to do that. We are like more than that, and everyone should start working on that thing as well.
I love that. Amen, sorry, but sometimes
Yeah.
empathy is not enough, especially if the behavior does not improve. How can HR balance empathy with accountability?
Hmm. Fair enough. So for that, if I believe that well, first suppose that if a person is having some sort of a trouble, like a newcomer who just have joined the company, now whatever the questions he actually not have got introduced yet with the manager of that department, but we are the one who actually have like had a word with them from the very day one, from like getting their screening interviews till the final interview, then onboarding process get done. HR, he doesn't know anyone in the whole company. So he whatever like he would be like facing whatever the things he would be like needing to ask, he will straight come to the HR instead of going to somewhere else. तो ये होता है कि mostly showing empathy, it more feels like कि HR is getting too friendly with their people. ऐसे सुनने को मिलता है कि like people are HR is someone कि जिनको इतना friendly नहीं होना
बिल्कुल.
चाहिए, again uh, they would be like having troubles, then फिर लोग उनसे leniencies मांगेंगे आकर, and that's something I believe which is not true. Giving empathy to someone and actually understanding their needs, it's something else, or being accountable for like something, it's something else, because we have to like maintain the whole balance for both of the things. तो ये होता है कि हमें अक्सर इस तरह की बातें सुनने को मिल रही होती है, but again कि even if I talk about where I'm working, so I mean we are having very good terms like with everyone. We are actually having a very good family environment, but there's a person like I truly respect them, and I truly like obviously having a very huge respect because obviously he's like working very hard, but again he sometimes says कि तुम लोग अमन की फाख्ता हो जाते हो लोगों को देखकर, इतना नहीं होना चाहिए तुम लोगों को, इतना आप लोग नहीं किसी को एक्चुअल लीनियंसीज दे सकते, या इतना आप लोग किसी के लिए नहीं सोच सकते, एंड व्हाट वी एक्चुअली से कि वी आर द human resource, like we are in the department where people actually see a light through a dark hole, कि हाँ अगर कोई भी मसला होगा तो हम एचआर के पास जाएंगे and they will going to resolve that. अगर if we will gonna turn our faces back towards them और हम बोलेंगे कि sorry we cannot do that and we cannot help you in this thing, so then definitely then like to whom they will gonna go. So that's something that people need to understand that thing as well, कि sometimes I believe that HR is stuck like with the company as well and with
Yeah,
the so it's very hard to like maintain the balance, but again once you know how to tackle the situation, you need to be sharp enough like to know like when you have to do this and when you have to do that, because आप कभी भी इमोशनली फुली ओके किसी को इतना नहीं शेयर दे सकते, बिकॉज इट विल गोना कॉस्ट यू अ ट्रबल फिर
बिल्कुल।
आप जहाँ एम्प्लॉयर आप जहाँ काम कर रहे हो तो वो आपसे क्वेश्चन करेंगे, और अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट हो जाओगे देन फिर पीपल वांना लाइक विल गोना लाइक कॉल यू आउट एंड दे विल गोना से कि आप कैसी ये जा रहे हैं, आप हमारी हेल्प नहीं कर सकती, देन व्हाई यू आर बीइंग हियर लाइक इन दिस डिपार्टमेंट, बिकॉज वी आर here to help them out. So that's something with the time I have realized that you need to create some boundaries, you need to
बिल्कुल।
create some I would say lines and make some rules for yourself as well. Cannot like to get too much empathetic towards someone, but yes, if they do have very
Hmm.
genuine causes for something, definitely, but we have to like obviously stand with them and we have to help them out no matter what, because before anything we are human and we need to realize कि अगर वही चीज हमारे साथ हो तो then obviously we would be actually be concerned about those things, but again we have to like maintain the decorum within the company, so we need to see कि किस तरह हम उसको बाद में कॉम्पनसेट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि समटाइम्स पीपल डू कम कि हमें इस तरह से लीव चाहिए, ओके यू कैन टेक अ लीव दैट्स फाइन, बट देन नाउ यू हैव टू कॉम्पनसेट विद अनदर डे, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली वी डू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपको वहां जाना है या फिर कोई भी अर्जेंसी आ गई है, बट अगेन द लॉस वी आर फेसिंग, it's something that we have to cover that up, and if that person would be more enthusiastic about his or her work, तो definitely वो इस चीज को बहाना नहीं बनाएगा कि ठीक है मैं छुट्टी ले रहा हूँ तो मैं फिर भी नहीं आ सकता बाद में, तो बस मुझे वो भी ऑफ चाहिए और मुझे ये भी ऑफ चाहिए. If someone is ready to do anything for their growth and for their passion, so definitely that person will going to understand as well कि हमारी कंपनी की नीड्स क्या है and then how we have to like
Exactly.
react to that thing. So yeah.
That's powerful. Eamon, finally, what practical steps can HR take to help turn a difficult employee into a productive one?
In a productive one. Okay. I mean, like, I have seen a lot of people like that. I have seen a lot of people, and because the places I have worked in, they are mostly like having the people of the ages of between, I would say, more 18 till 21 till
Hmm.
25 as well. So they're very like not very hard to handle actually, but they are like giving us very like very a tough time. Because I remember like back in my previous employer, I was handling a team of teenagers at that time, and they were actually in their universities in the first semester and all those stuff. So obviously, I do understand that they are kind of a rebellious, they are kind of a very energetic. They want to do explore out of the playground as well, and they want to actually see कि अगर हम ये करेंगे तो कैसा
Hmm.
होगा, उसका
बिल्कुल.
रिजल्ट क्या आएगा. So that's something I really do like, get inspired from them, because sometimes ऐसा होता है कि they are actually having a very good ideas. They can actually, make the
Yeah. Hmm.
environment very lively. So I
Hmm.
really don't understand कि people will say कि हाँ, this person is not giving us like the result that we are expecting from him or her. बिकॉज आई बिलीव कि आपने शायद उसको वो प्लेग्राउंड दिया ही नहीं है खेलने के लिए जो क्या आप चाह रहे हो. माइट भी शायद उसको अपने तरीके से काम करने दो, एंड यू विल start seeing the results. Because I have seen that in my team, I
Yeah.
used to like make the rules. I used to
Hmm.
like impose to them कि नहीं ये करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. But
Hmm.
when you are like getting bounded with rules and regulations, तो आपके सोचने की और आपकी creativity capacity कम हो जाती है. आप फिर
Exactly.
बोलते हो कि exactly, तो आप बोलते हो कि बस आपको इसी प्लेग्राउंड के अंदर करना है जो करना है, उसके अलावा मैं कुछ कर नहीं सकता. तो वो प्रोडक्टिविटी जो आपको चाहिए होती है ना, वो फिर बहुत लिमिटेड हो जाती है. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई बिलीव कि now in the generation we are in, so I believe कि लोगों को फ्री हैंड देना चाहिए वहां तक जहां तक आपको लगता है कि you can actually bear that thing, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा
Hmm.
लीड will cost you something जो कि फिर शायद आपसे बर्दाश्त ना हो. But again, when you are working with teenagers, when you are working with the people who are actually having a very different way of thinking, so just
Exactly.
start
Especially Gen
start
Z.
Exactly. So I started like giving them something like a
Yeah.
ground जहाँ पे वो अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस कर सके, क्योंकि शायद जिस तरह से आप सोच रहे हो वो तरीका नहीं सही हो. रादर देन कि जिस तरह वो सोच रहे हो उससे आपको माइट बी आउट ऑफ 50, आपको आप चाह रहे हो 50% आपके पास आए, लेकिन आपके पास 110% भी आ सकता है बिकॉज ऑफ दैट पर्सन, क्योंकि उसके पास दूसरा आइडिया है, एंड दे आर लाइक एक्चुअली प्लानिंग टू थिंक अबाउट कि हाँ, हाउ वी कैन मेक द थिंग्स पॉसिबल इन अ गुड मैनर. तो आई बिलीव कि कोई इंसान इतना लेजी नहीं होता, और आई बिलीव द लेजी पर्सन आर वेरी क्रिएटिव बिकॉज दे एक्चुअली फाइंड द शॉर्ट कीज कि हम किस तरह से इस चीज को जल्दी कर सकते हैं और प्रोडक्टिव वे में कर सकते हैं. लेकिन ये कि अगर हाँ, इफ समवन इज स्टिल कॉजिंग अ ट्रबल और हमें लग रहा है कि वो कुछ टाइम बाद ठीक हो जाएगा, जस्ट लाइक गिव हिम और हर स्पेस फॉर अ वीक. अगर आपको उस वीक में भी लगता है
Hmm.
कि द रिजल्ट्स आर नॉट शोइंग अप, तो दैट
Exactly.
समथिंग फिर आपको you have to like get the boundaries done. Because right now I am training a junior of mine, and they have like given me a time to train him, and the shortlisting get done. तो ये है कि उसको फिर देखने के लिए हमें चाहिए कि मैंने उस पर कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं लगाए, ना मैंने उसको कोई किसी चीज के लिए emphasize किया. हाँ, I was training him, I was letting him know कि you have to do this, you have to do that. And I'm fully surprised because he is actually a junior resource, and he actually got me a result like within a week. Or I'm happy because
Exactly.
that's something कि he's just like being 22, and I believe कि
Hmm.
that person जिसने अभी बस चीजें सीखना शुरू ही की हैं. So that's something कि उसने within a like a week मुझे results लाके दे दिए हैं. So I believe कि sometimes you have to like give them a space ताकि वो अपने तरीके से काम कर सकें. तो
बिल्कुल.
I get it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eamon. This has been such a valuable conversation. Thank you for sharing your insights. That's true that handling difficult employees is not about confrontation, it's about clarity, empathy, and consistent communication. Thank you
Yeah.
for
No
tuning
way.
in, guys. Don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe. Until then, take care, and thank you so much, Eamon, once again for your time. Thank you.
Thank
Allah
you so much.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.